Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to tonight's call and thank you for taking the time from your busy schedule to learn more about ASEA. I'm Dawn Saccone, and I'm very excited to be speaking with all of you. Many of you know my background and my story, but for those who don't, I'm a nutritional health counselor and an athlete who's been a competitive runner for 30 years. 6 years ago, I was struck head-on by an SUV while running, and the short of it is I wound up in a wheelchair and told I'd never run again. 2 years later, I rehabbed myself back to running, but with great pain and stiffness and numbness in my feet. Although I was running again, I never thought I'd ever do distance training required to run another marathon. I plodded along with great pain and very poor recovery. I wasn't sleeping well due to complications from my injuries, but I refused to give up finding a solution. So I went on to try every oil, drink, supplement, and cream out there. I went through years of tests, doctor visits, antidepressants, vitamins, and every possible holistic remedy. But I wasn't getting any relief, nothing that really lasted. Then I was introduced to ASEA by Dr. David Silverman, who happens to be an expert in the scientific methodology of ASEA. I was skeptical at first, but curious, so I investigated, I asked questions, and decided to give it a try. To make a long story short, I'm really happy I did. ASEA gave me the recovery and the energy, not only to train for another marathon, but to win my division, and I felt strong and pain-free through the whole marathon. And to make it even better, I came back to run a half marathon and win my division just a week later. So that in itself is tremendous. But for those of you who are looking for more than athletic performance, I will share with you that I also suffered from an eating disorder through my adolescence into my 40s. And you can imagine the damage it caused on my digestive system, not to mention mental clarity and general health. Even though I managed to get beyond it, I was left with residual symptoms that added to the trauma that I was facing with the accident. I'm happy to say that ASEA relieved most of those symptoms, and that is the reason why I have this call tonight. There's so much ASEA can do, but I'm going to let an expert tell you. So I want to introduce you to a truly caring and genuine human being. This man found out about ASEA just as you are doing right now. So I'm going to open this up to David Silverman.
Thanks, Dawn. Thank you very much, and thanks for the nice introduction. And it's kind of fate that we met. We make no medical claims with this product. It doesn't cure, heal, or treat anything, and that really is the truth. That's not just saying it because the FDA makes us say that. It doesn't do that. We'll talk about what it actually does. It just allows the body to do what it's supposed to do. But Dawn, I'm glad that now that you've come to see what it does, and you feel the same obligation that I do. And I know Dr. Shapiro is on the line also. We really feel that we have to share this with people. It's the only way anybody finds out about it is word of mouth. Got very passionate about natural medicine and medicine that didn't hurt people. Like pharmaceuticals can. And I like the idea of residual income. So within 2 years, it just got to the point where I was like, wow, I spent all this time becoming board certified in foot surgery and foot orthopedics, own my own practice, own my own ambulatory surgery center. But I just said, there's more to life than being in an office all day. I love helping people. To me, because my dad was going through a serious issue and about to undergo some serious treatment at a very famous hospital in Baltimore. And was brought to me, ASEA was brought to me, and I investigated it as best I could. There's no real investigation as good as experiencing it, but saw that it was safe, non-toxic, was actually something that's native to the body. We already have it in us. But to me, it appeared that it was just salt and water. The ingredients are sodium chloride and water, although there are 31 patents on the product, so I kind of intuitively knew it couldn't be just salt water. But So let's just talk about, first of all, Dawn's site is Replenish Life, the word replenish and life.com. And on that site, I'll refer to it because there's very good links to some good information on there. What are redox signaling molecules? Because this product is redox signaling molecules. They're native to the body. We have them in us. We've always had them in us. We just had a lot more of these molecules in us when we were children. And for science-minded people that are listening, you'll remember the Krebs cycle, oxidative phosphorylation, where ATP is formed. And I was taught when I graduated from podiatry school in 87, and I got my biology degree at Maryland in 83, that redox molecules were a useless byproduct during the process of ATP formation. And when I did my research on this one, it was brought to me from my dad. I went back to my books, my old books, and that's what it said. And then I went online and I found out, wow, in the 90s they found out there is a function to these molecules. And there is a ridiculous amount of research on it. And all I have to do is Google search redox signaling molecules and almost any health issue. So they're native to the body, which means they are non-toxic. That's the number one thing that people need to understand. This is completely safe. Safety studies, millions and millions of dollars of safety studies have been done on this, and they could not find a lethal dose. Every drug has what's called an LD50. It stands for lethal dose 50. It means that what amount of this drug per ounce or gram of animal, whatever the animal weighs, what amount per gram will kill 50% of the animals that take it, if I've worded that properly for you to understand. At what dose will this kill 50% of the subjects that take it? They could not find an LD50 on this. Aspirin has it, Tylenol has it, cough drops have it, everything has it, has an LD50. They could not find one on this. They gave so much they could not find a lethal dose. So, number one, it's safe, okay, because it's already in us. But it's the reason, they are the reason why kids heal so quickly. When we're children, we are full of these. It's full of these. From the time you're 10 to 12 years old, you start producing less and less and less, on average 10% less per decade. It's why kids have so much energy. It's why they heal so fast. It's why kids can, tumble down a hill doing somersaults and get dizzy. Wow, that's great. Let's do it again. And the next day, they're perfectly fine. I mean, they don't get up and ask for Advil. As an adult, you do that, you're in traction or in the hospital. And we'll explain why that happens. There are two I'm speaking quickly, but I want to get the information in a timely manner. There's two molecules, and I'll give you a website that goes through this, Redox 1 and Redox 2. Redox 1 and Redox 2. If you go to Dr. Rob Webinar, DRROB webinar.com, it really explains this nicely. drrobwebinar.com. So Redox 1 are what we call activators. They activate your body's own antioxidants. We all know the term antioxidant, okay? Our body has the most powerful antioxidants, so much more powerful than any plant-based antioxidant. The biggest one is called glutathione. There are two other ones. I'm not going to go into it now for time purposes. But these antioxidants are critical for our health. At that website I just gave, it explains this. ASEA is not an antioxidant. Redox 1, redox signaling molecules 1, what they do is they activate our body's own antioxidants. It's like we have antioxidants in our body, let's say glutathione, and let's say they're 100 watts. They're capable of getting very bright with 100 watts. Well, let's say they're on a dimmer switch. Most of us, they are. Without enough redox signaling molecules, it's like having a 100-watt bulb that's on 25 watts. It's kind of dim. And you think, well, that's as bright as it gets. Well, it gets a lot brighter, and antioxidants do their job much better if they get activated, and that's what Redox 1 does. Redox molecules 2 are really fascinating. They're communicative. This is the amazing thing. This is why you will hear so many people give so many testimonials from so many health issues, joint, back, headache, skin, just across the board, because when you have damaged cells, however they're damaged, it could be from an injury, it could be from mutation, it could be from anything. Signals are sent out to the body's immune system from that cell, if it's able to still send a distress signal, or the cells around it saying, hey, we have a problem down here. And so this distress signal goes out to come down here and repair these damaged cells, and if you cannot repair them, then replace them. So the signal goes out, come repair these cells. If you can't do it, the immune system, then please put them through what's called apoptosis and clear them out of the way so that the new cell, the cells or the good cells in the area can then multiply and take its place. Okay? Well, if that distress signal that you got damaged cells is not getting to the proper authorities, like the immune system, then the immune system is sitting there capable of taking care of the problem, but if it's not getting the distress call because it's muffled, and maybe it's only sending down, somebody says, we've got a fire in an ashtray inside the house, maybe the signal is, hey, come over here and put that out. But, if you've got the living room on fire, there should be screaming going on. Hey, there's a fire here. Get in here. Hook it up. Get the fire department in here. That's as simply as I can put it. These molecules don't do any healing. They don't. They just clear the signals so the body can heal itself. And this is why children heal so quickly and why you don't see the incredible number of diseases in children that you see in adults. You see some, but you don't see what you see in adults. So since the 90s, there's been a race to create these molecules outside the body, and many labs have been able to do it. But what was felt to be impossible was to be able to stabilize these molecules outside of the body so they can actually have a shelf life, so that human beings could actually use them and enjoy them and get benefit from them. The labs that were able to create the molecules did so, but they would turn back into salt water within just a few minutes. And that's one of the reasons there's 31 patents on this product, because it's stable. It was really thought to be impossible, and I've shown this to atomic physicists. They're like, that's physically impossible, and that's the miracle of this product. That is the absolute miracle of this product. All you have to do is drink it or spray it on your skin. That's all you have to do. There's a website. If you go to Dawn's website, replenishlife.com, there is a video called The Genesis. Everybody should watch that. It really does explain how this whole thing came about. And there's a side benefit on here for athletes, which is incredible. Athletes were coming back to the company and saying, wow, my health issue is gone. This is great. But by the way, I'm breaking my personal records over and over again. I'm running negative splits. What is in this stuff? We just came back from a conference down in Orlando, and this guy, his name is James Lawrence. He just broke the record for running the most Ironman competitions in 1 year. When you run Ironman competitions, races, it destroys your immune system. I mean, these guys are often worn down and sick, and it limits the number that they can race. So up until James, the record had been 20 in a year. He's already run 24. He's run 24 already. He's planning to run 6 more. He'll have run 30 by the end of the year. Has not been sick once. In fact, he came in first place in the 23rd. And anybody that listens to this that runs Ironman competitions, this sounds impossible. Well, I've been doing this for over a year. I've seen a lot of things happen that people said were impossible. This is not just a product. It's not a nutritional. This is a major, major health advancement and breakthrough. So when you go to that site, Replenish Life, there's another video there that says Metabolites, Frontiers, I think. A very interesting double-blind study done at the Human Performance Lab with Dr. David Neiman, and that has sparked a lot more studies. In fact, a couple more are coming out. One's going to be published in April. So Dawn's story is really not the exception. I mean, it's not some miracle. It is typical. The fact that there's a niche for athletes, that's great. I mean, as a business, that's a great niche to be in. But for me, what gets me passionate is seeing sick people have their lives turned around, people that were told there's really nothing that you can do.
Absolutely, and if you run, if I had given up out of frustration, then I would have missed out on all the benefits.
That's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. So, okay, you can say goodnight, and then as soon as you do, I'm going to stop the recording, and then we can answer more questions if people have them, okay?
Okay. All right. I just want to thank everyone for being on this call. Again, my site is replenishlife.com. If you have any questions that you want to ask me personally, you know my email. If you don't, it's sunflowerdc@yahoo.com, or you can call me. And I really appreciate you listening, and I hope that you will go on the site and just get more information.
Yep, and I'd follow up with Dawn, definitely, and because she can send you some attachments and different things to give you quite a bit more information. So thanks,
Absolutely.
everybody.
Yes, thank you.